Imagine standing in the middle of a massive stadium. More than 150,000 people surround you. They're screaming so loudly that the ground itself seems to shake. Dust fills the air. 8 horses charge toward the finish line at nearly 70 kilometers per hour. Millions of dollars are at stake. One mistake. One stumble. And history changes forever. Horse racing is one of the oldest sports still alive today. But here's the strange part. It wasn't invented for entertainment. It wasn't invented for money. It wasn't even invented as a sport. Thousands of years ago, the very first race may have started with a single sentence. I bet my horse is faster than yours. That challenge would eventually evolve into a tradition lasting over 4,000 years. It would inspire kings, create empires, make ordinary horses into national heroes, and, somehow, even inspire one of Japan's biggest anime franchises. If you've ever heard of Uma Musume Pretty Derby, you might think it's just another anime about cute girls competing in races. But what most people don't realize, every single main character is based on a real racehorse. Real champions. Real victories. Real tragedies. Some of the greatest moments in Japanese sports history have been recreated almost scene for scene inside the anime. And after the series became a worldwide phenomenon, something incredible happened. Young people who had never cared about horse racing started filling racetracks again. Old races from the 1980s and 1990s suddenly gained millions of new views online. Legendary horses that had passed away decades earlier became famous all over again. But to understand why, we first need to travel back. Not hundreds, but thousands of years. Long before stadiums. Long before jockeys. Long before anyone even imagined horse racing. Back to a world where horses weren't athletes. They were the greatest invention humanity had ever seen. Around 5,500 years ago, vast grasslands stretched across what is now Kazakhstan and southern Russia. This region is known today as the Eurasian Steppe. It was home to countless wild horses. Fast, powerful, impossible to control. For thousands of years, humans hunted them. Not because they wanted to ride them, but because horses were food. Bones found by archaeologists show that ancient people regularly hunted entire herds. No one imagined these animals would someday change civilization. Then, everything changed. A culture now known as the Boitai people began doing something completely different. Instead of killing every horse, they started keeping some alive. Archaeologists discovered evidence of bridles worn on horse teeth. Chemical traces of horse milk inside ancient pottery. Large fenced enclosures. These weren't wild animals anymore. They were becoming partners. For the first time in history, humans had mastered speed. Imagine how incredible this must have felt. A journey that once took 3 days could now take 1. Hunters could chase prey farther than ever before. Messages could travel across entire kingdoms. Trade exploded. Empires expanded. Wars changed forever. The horse quickly became the most valuable possession a person could own. But something else happened. People noticed that not every horse was equally fast. Some tired quickly. Others could run for hours. Some seemed almost impossible to catch. Naturally, owners began comparing them. Picture 2 young riders returning home after hunting. One arrives far ahead of the other. The slower rider laughs and says, "Next time, let's see whose horse is really the fastest." Nobody knows when the first race happened. There are no written records. No paintings. No trophies. But historians believe racing probably began almost immediately after horses were domesticated. Competition is human nature. And wherever humans compete, sports are born. At first, there were no tracks, no rules, no judges. Just open grassland stretching to the horizon. The fastest horse won. Simple. But as civilizations grew larger, horse racing became something much greater. It became a symbol of power. And nowhere was that more obvious than in the great kingdoms of the ancient world more than 3,500 years ago. The most powerful civilizations on Earth had one thing in common. They all wanted the fastest horses. In ancient Egypt, horses weren't just animals. They were symbols of royalty. Only the wealthiest people could own them. Pharaohs decorated their chariots with gold. Their horses wore beautiful leather harnesses. The strongest warriors trained every day, learning how to control 2 horses at once while firing arrows at full speed. A skilled chariot driver wasn't just respected. He was feared. Because on the battlefield, speed meant survival. But something unexpected happened. Whenever soldiers trained, they naturally began competing. Who could finish the course first? Who had the fastest horses? Who could make the sharpest turns? Without realizing it, military exercises slowly became competitions. And competitions slowly became entertainment. Crowds gathered to watch. People cheered. The fastest horses became famous long before anyone kept official records. The Hittites and the first horse trainers. While Egypt built magnificent chariots, another civilization was quietly changing horse racing forever. The Hittites. Living in what is now modern-day Turkey, they created the world's first known horse training manual. Over 3,300 years ago, a trainer named Kikili wrote detailed instructions on how to prepare horses for endurance and speed. His methods were astonishingly advanced. The horses followed carefully planned training schedules. They alternated between fast runs, long-distance exercise, rest days, even controlled feeding. Sound familiar? Because modern racehorses still train using many of the same principles. Kikili understood something extraordinary. A fast horse wasn't born overnight. It was built day after day, week after week, year after year. For the first time in history, horse training became a science. Then came Greece. By the time ancient Greece rose to power, horse racing was already respected across much of the ancient world. But the Greeks transformed it into something humanity had never seen before. Sport. Real sport. In 680 BC, horse racing officially entered the Olympic Games. Not foot races. Not wrestling. Horse races. And especially chariot races. Imagine standing beside the Olympic track. Dust fills the air. The crowd is silent. 8 chariots line up side by side, each pulled by 4 powerful horses. The signal is given. Suddenly, 32 horses explode forward. The sound is deafening. The drivers stand instead of sitting. There are no seat belts, no helmets, no safety barriers. One tiny mistake. One wheel touches another, and disaster follows. The deadliest sport in Greece. Chariot racing wasn't simply dangerous. It was one of the deadliest sports ever invented. When 2 chariots collided, drivers were often thrown beneath galloping horses. Broken wheels became flying projectiles. Entire teams crashed into one another. Many racers never finished. Some never went home. Yet people couldn't stop watching. Because every race was unpredictable. Victory depended on courage, skill, luck, and the trust between horse and driver. Interestingly, the driver wasn't considered the real winner. Instead, the victory belonged to the owner of the horses, which meant wealthy nobles competed for glory through the athletes they hired. One of history's most famous Olympic champions was actually a princess. Her name was Cynisca of Sparta. She became the first woman ever to win an Olympic event. Not because she drove the chariot herself. Women weren't even allowed to compete. She won because she owned the fastest horses in Greece. Even then, horse racing had already become a competition of breeding, training, and prestige. Breeding faster horses. After centuries of racing, people noticed something important. Fast horses often produced fast offspring. Strong horses produced strong foals. Owners began choosing only the very best animals to breed. Without understanding genetics, they accidentally invented selective breeding. Generation after generation, horses became faster, lighter, more athletic. Every champion inspired the next. This simple idea would eventually create the fastest horse breed on earth, the thoroughbred. But before that happened, horse racing would reach an entirely different level. Not in Greece, not in Egypt, but in the greatest city the ancient world had ever known. Rome. A city where horse racing wasn't just entertainment. It was an obsession. Imagine a stadium so large that modern football arenas seem small by comparison. Welcome to the Circus Maximus, the largest sports venue of the ancient world. Historians estimate that more than 150,000 spectators could fill its massive grandstands. That's larger than many modern stadiums today. Every race day, the city came to a stop. Merchants closed their shops. Workers abandoned their jobs. Even politicians delayed important meetings. Because everyone wanted to watch the races. For great teams dominated Roman racing. The blues, the greens, the reds, and the whites. If that sounds familiar, it's because these weren't just racing teams. They were fan clubs. Millions of Romans supported them with unbelievable passion. Fans wore team colors, argued endlessly, placed enormous bets. Sometimes, entire riots broke out after controversial races. Sound familiar? Modern football rivalries have nothing on ancient Rome. For many Romans, supporting a racing faction wasn't just entertainment. It was part of their identity. The first superstars. The horses became celebrities. Drivers became richer than generals. One legendary charioteer named Gaius Appuleius Diocles earned so much prize money during his career that, adjusted for today's value, historians estimate it would equal billions of dollars. He raced for more than 20 years, won over 1,000 races, and retired as one of the wealthiest athletes in human history. Long before football, long before Formula One, long before the Olympics became global, horse racing had already created the world's first sports superstars. But no empire lasts forever. When Rome collapsed, many believed horse racing would disappear with it. They were wrong. Because in the deserts of Arabia, a new legend was about to begin. When the Roman Empire collapsed, many traditions disappeared. Great stadiums were abandoned. Chariot racing slowly faded into history. For a moment, it seemed as if horse racing itself might vanish forever. But while Europe entered the Dark Ages, another part of the world was quietly creating the greatest racehorse in history: the Arabian Peninsula. Life here was unforgiving. Scorching heat, endless deserts, very little water. Only the strongest animals survived. Bedouin tribes depended on their horses for everything: travel, hunting, trade, war. A weak horse meant death. So families carefully selected only the fastest, smartest, and most loyal horses for breeding. These horses became known as the Arabian horse. Unlike the heavy war horses of Europe, Arabians were smaller, lighter, smarter, and incredibly fast. They could travel enormous distances without tiring. Even today, many experts consider them one of the most influential horse breeds ever created. And their story was only beginning. Kings wanted speed. By the 16th century, horse racing had returned to Europe. This time, not as military training, but as entertainment. And nowhere embraced it more than England. English kings loved horses, especially one man, King Charles II. People even nicknamed him the father of English horse racing. He didn't simply enjoy watching races. He built racecourses, organized competitions, created rules, encouraged nobles to breed faster horses. Soon, owning the fastest horse became a symbol of prestige. The richest families spent fortunes importing Arabian horses into England. They believed these horses possessed something magical: speed, endurance, elegance. And they were right. 3 horses that changed history. Over the next century, 3 imported stallions completely transformed horse racing. Their names are still remembered today: the Byerly Turk, the Darley Arabian, and the Godolphin Arabian. If you've ever watched a horse race, there's an incredible chance the horses you saw are descendants of one of these 3. More than 95% of all modern thoroughbred racehorses trace their bloodline back to them. Think about that. 3 horses changed an entire sport. Breeders carefully crossed these stallions with English mares. Generation after generation, the horses became faster, longer-legged, more athletic. Eventually, a new breed was born: the thoroughbred, the fastest racehorse the world had ever seen. Racing becomes a global sport. Throughout the 1700s and 1800s, horse racing exploded in popularity. Britain built famous racecourses like Ascot and Epsom. France followed. America soon joined. One race became especially legendary: the Kentucky Derby. First held in 1875, it quickly became known as the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Only about 2 minutes, yet years of breeding, months of preparation, and millions of dollars could all be decided before you even finished your drink. Horse racing had become far more than a competition. It was now an industry, a science, a culture. But no country would embrace it quite like Japan. When most people think about Japan, they imagine anime, video games, samurai, technology. Horse racing usually isn't the first thing that comes to mind. But it should be, because Japan has one of the largest horse racing industries in the entire world. Every weekend, hundreds of thousands of fans gather at racetracks. Millions more watch from home. Some races offer prize pools worth tens of millions of dollars. The Japan Cup, the Arima Kinen, the Tenno Show. These events attract crowds comparable to major football finals. Yet something makes Japanese horse racing different. In many countries, fans support jockeys or trainers. In Japan, people fall in love with the horses themselves. Each champion has a personality, a story, a loyal fan base. Some horses receive thousands of letters, birthday gifts, even memorial ceremonies after they pass away. Children grow up knowing their names. Adults remember exactly where they were when legendary races happened. For many Japanese fans, these horses aren't just athletes. They're national heroes. And then, in 2018, something happened that nobody expected. A mobile game and anime called Umamusume Pretty Derby. At first, many racing fans laughed. An anime? About horse girls? Surely it couldn't represent the sport seriously. They couldn't have been more wrong. When fiction met history, the creators made an unusual decision. Instead of inventing fictional champions, they based nearly every main character on a real racehorse. Not loosely inspired, directly inspired. Their names, careers, greatest victories, greatest defeats. Even their personalities reflected how fans remembered the real horses. The result was incredible. People who had never watched horse racing suddenly became fascinated by its history. Old race videos from the 1980s and 1990s exploded in popularity. Young anime fans started visiting racecourses. Some even traveled across Japan to see retired racehorses living on farms. One anime had introduced an entirely new generation to one of the oldest sports on Earth. But among dozens of legendary horses, a few stand above all the others. When Uma Musume, Pretty Derby became popular, millions of viewers discovered something surprising. The characters weren't fictional. They were real horses. And some of them had stories so incredible that even anime couldn't make them more dramatic. TM Opera Oh the Unbeatable Emperor. At the turn of the year 2000, one horse dominated Japan. TM Opera Oh. He won race after race after race. In one legendary season, he remained undefeated. His prize money shattered national records. Fans called him an emperor. Stadiums filled just to watch him run. In Uma Musume, his character is theatrical, confident, and larger than life. And according to many racing fans, that's exactly what the real TM Opera Oh felt like. Tokai Teo, the greatest comeback. If Japanese racing has a miracle story, it belongs to Tokai Teo. He was brilliant, fast, elegant, but injuries kept destroying his career. Again and again, many people believed he would never return to top racing. Then came the Ari McKinnon. After a long absence, against younger rivals, Tokai Teo won. The crowd erupted. Commentators nearly lost their voices. Many fans still consider it the greatest comeback in Japanese sports history. The anime recreates this emotional journey almost perfectly. Special Week, the hero of the first season. The main protagonist of the first season is Special Week. The real horse won the prestigious Japanese Derby. He became one of the most beloved champions of his era. His story represents a classic dream. A horse from humble beginnings trying to become the best in Japan. That dream became the heart of the anime. Silent Suzuka, the tragedy. Few horses were as exciting as Silent Suzuka. His style was simple. Run to the front. And never let anyone catch him. For a while, it seemed impossible to beat him. Then tragedy struck. During a major race, a catastrophic injury ended his career instantly. The stadium fell silent. Many fans cried. In Uma Musume, this story became one of the series' most emotional moments. Rice Shower, the misunderstood champion. At first, many people disliked Rice Shower. Why? Because he defeated more popular horses. Fans blamed him for ruining their favorite champion's dreams. But over time, people realized something important. Rice Shower wasn't a villain. He was simply competing. Today, he is remembered with deep respect and affection. Gold Ship, the chaotic legend. And then, there was Gold Ship. Perhaps the strangest champion in modern racing. One day he would dominate world-class opponents. The next day, he might refuse to leave the starting gate. Or suddenly stop trying. Or behave in ways nobody could predict. Fans never knew what would happen. That's exactly why they loved him. The anime captures his chaotic personality perfectly. More than 4,000 years ago, horse racing may have begun with a simple challenge. I bet my horse is faster than yours. That challenge survived empires, wars, kingdoms, revolutions. It filled Roman stadiums, inspired kings, created legendary champions, and somehow, thousands of years later, it became an anime watched by millions. Whether you discovered horse racing through history or through Uma Museum, the feeling is the same. Watching extraordinary horses do what they were born to do. Run. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.